Well, good morning, everyone. Day 23, Town Day. Yay! The goal today is just resupply and learn the history of the town, Bryson City. And right now, I'll take a few pics, and they do have a museum, so hopefully we'll be able to give you a tour. Gonna eat at the Italian place tonight because it was recommended to me. So, but anyways, we're just gonna walk around town today. Probably walk just as much in town as I do on trail, but with no pack. So, anyways, it's Sunday. All the barbers are closed. I do have to get rid of this. What the heck is growing on my ears? I don't know. It's got to go. Anyways, they got a Bojangles here. I'm going to tear that up for lunch. They do have an IGA. I'm going to resupply there. I will show you that resupply just probably with a pic. So, but anyways, let's get to it, and we'll talk to you later. So I'm here at the Bryson City Museum, and I have Selena, and she's going to tell me some of the history. So I'll let you take it from here.
Awesome. So, Road to Nowhere is one of Bryce City's broken promises. It was supposed to be a road, and it was supposed to lead over to the cemeteries and everything that is under the lake now. So, before this lake was formed, before the dam got built, which was for World War II, it was for the help building the tanks and stuff like that. So they built the dam, which of course caused the lake. There are 13 communities and 7 towns under that lake. And Road to Nowhere was supposed to be the road that led there for these cemeteries so people could drive and visit their old family graves and such. And they never finished the road. When they came in, they found acidic rock right there in the mountain, and they didn't want to go on, and chances of damaging the environment. So now there are ferries that leave at certain places on the lake, and the Genealogy Society puts those dates out. You have to reserve ahead of time. And they take them over to whichever grave they are that day during decoration time. And families or other people get to go over, clean up the graves, put flowers out, say a little bit of prayer, and they take care of their resting loved ones. Another great thing about Bryson, which what we offer, is the Great Smoky Mountains Railroad. It leaves from Bryson. You have about a 4-hour trip. It goes right here to the Nantahala Gorge, specifically at the Nantahala Outdoor Center. You spend about 30 minutes there and you get to come back. That is mostly the spring, summer, and fall train. And they have different options you can do with that train as well. You can ride the train over. You usually get with Wild Water, and they take you either on a Jeep tour, they take you on a zip line tour, or whitewater rafting, and then they'll bring you back at the end of the day. Another train ride they do is going down to Dillsboro, and then you spend about 30 minutes to an hour in Dillsboro, and you come back. This one you go through a tunnel, and it still has the train wreck of the Fugitive movie.
Wonderful. Okay, so we're looking at an organ.
Yes, the organ was from the Forney Creek Baptist Church, and a lot of these churches around here we don't have a lot of information on, but we do know a lot of them were also schools, including like one-room schools, and that's where that term came from, is because there's only usually one room in the church, is just a hall. And it's where all the community kids within that community, like Forney Creek, that was just a community. So all those kids from that community went to that church, went to school, and a lot of the times, multiple grade levels were in the same class. And one question we get asked a lot in these photos is, why aren't the kids smiling? Why aren't the people smiling? But back then, it took so long to take a photo that they weren't going to sit there and smile that long. So most of them, especially the kids, just seemed bored out of their minds.
It'd be like the old tintypes that you got to stand there for a long period of time, and that's why they didn't smile. Okay.
And then another question we get asked, because in some of these photos you'll see that they don't have shoes on. And we get asked, well, why didn't they have shoes on? Well, a lot of these families had, 5, 10, 15 kids. And some of them, the mine workers, the logging workers, they didn't make that much. So they couldn't afford to buy every single one of those kids' shoes. So the shoes that they were wearing was either hand-me-downs, or they got them as birthday presents, Christmas presents, and they wore them to church on Sundays, if they wore them then, and they wore them in the wintertime.
I know some of the past shows that we were discussing, usually you would see the woman cleaning the deer, holding a child, and then she would have one in her belly as well. So they did have a lot of kids, but I believe a lot of them may have died at an early age.
Yes. Diseases, just accidents happening. They didn't have the medicine that we do today, so some of those diseases that we kind of just look at and, don't think about, like even the common cold, it killed multiple kids back then at very young ages.
This is our representation of an old school George Washington. Old books up there, study books.
The Bushnell School right there on the wall, that is one of the schools that is actually underwater.
Oh, that's on. Okay, so that's is that the Fontana River?
Fontana Lake.
Fontana Lake. Okay.
And most of those structures were supposed to get torn down, but sometimes when the lake levels get a little bit lower, they haven't done that in many years where you could see them. You used to be able to see church steeples or the top of tall.
Really? That's going to be creepy, right?
Very, very.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, so one of the places I'll be hiking that I'm going to be looking forward to is the Fontana, and I'm probably saying the name wrong, the dam, right? I get to cross that. So, and that's what causes the lake then?
Yep.
Okay, all right.
And during the winter time, they lower the lake levels because we do have snow, ice, stuff, all that water is coming off mountains. So they'll lower the lake so we don't have another flood. And in the summertime, they'll bring those levels back up so you can go boating, fishing, rafting, all of that.
Oh, wonderful. All right. I'm going to turn you off for just a second, give you a break, and then we'll move on.
So we kind of start right here in the museum when you first come up the stairs. These are some of our early businesses, what it was, train trestles under the Fontana Lake. A lot of these businesses are not here anymore.
That's cool.
Some of them we don't have a lot of information on.
That's not here any longer either then? So
I
the
don't
train?
think so, no.
The train? So it doesn't go
No, not
over
in Forney
that
Creek.
old wooden bridge? It's probably rotted.
Probably. If that one, I think that one's actually either under the lake or right beside it.
Oh, this is under the lake. Okay. Well, that's even cooler, yeah.
And like I said, a lot of those pictures we don't have information on, and we're trying to get information on them.
Okay.
So this is Wayne County today in the early 1900s. Bryson City was actually originally named Charleston, which, interesting enough, it had to change names in, when was it? 1871, I think. They had to change names because it kept on getting mixed up with Charleston, South Carolina. And mail kept on going to South Carolina instead of North Carolina.
Well, that would make sense. Yeah. Notice where the Eastern man of the Cherokees. And I just learned a lot of history, what happened with the Cherokees after Blood Mountain. So I'll share that in a later video. So is Eagle Creek near here then?
Eagle Creek is one of the ones that's also near or under the water.
Oh, it's near or under the water. Okay, so they used to have copper because Michigan, our upper peninsula is known for copper mining.
Eagle Creek is actually right here. It's now in the National Park.
Okay.
And then Forney Creek you'll see here with the train trestles.
Right there.
And Bushnell and all that, of course, too.
Okay.
And then on this wall was some of the gentlemen that got this museum started. And also Dent's Cafe, which was a very popular place back in its day, but sadly is not here anymore.
Oh. So these are the founders?
Those were the county commissioners that helped vote for the museum we put in place.
Okay. And who is this gentleman?
David Monteith. He was the one with the vision to build the museum. To turn, because it was originally the courthouse. This building got built in 1908, and it got converted to the Heritage Museum and Visitor Center in 2013. And he was the one that had the ideas and got it all started.
Cool.
So the flood of 1940, that was a big one. It hurt a lot of businesses, water damage, stuff like that. And that is now why they release water out of the dam so we don't flood again. And these are just some of the pictures from it and how high the water was. And of course, everybody was walking around town still, pulled up their pants legs, kept on going.
Oh yeah, look at that. There's the picture.
And that was on Everett Street.
Oh, the whole street's like a funneled river. Look at that.
Oh yeah, it was coming up over the bridge.
Can you see that? That's up there high. There. Well, the old-fashioned cars. Look at that. That's in the 1940s, so that's what the cars looked like in the 1940s.
They're pretty.
Yeah, they were pretty, weren't they?
Rough ride, but they lasted.
Oh, look at that. Half the cars flooded. Town's flooded. Save that for later. Save that for the next after I get these. So this is early Bryson City, 1940s.
So this courthouse was actually the third one built.
Oh, the third.
Yes.
Okay.
The first two were built at a different location, and both of them burned down, which the bottom picture here is one of them.
So this one burned down.
Yes.
Now, was this the first or the second?
I believe that was the second.
The second. Okay.
And then we have what the town square used to look like.
Oh, look at that. Look at the old cars.
This building back here used to be the jail. It was right next to us.
Okay.
And they used to have a catwalk at the back coming from the window over to the jail to bring the prisoners straight to the courtroom.
Okay. Cool. Okay, so I want to go back here. There's a unique story with this little guy right here.
So this little boy, He was crippled at birth. He was born in 1922. His family ordered this wagon from Sears and pulled him around. And that was his ride. It was actually really cool about it. And at 16, a surgery was done at Duke Hospital to try and correct it, but there was a lot of complications within the surgery, and he didn't make it.
Oh, okay.
So now we have it as a memorial. So logging was a big part of history, and the Hazel Creek plant is actually one of the ones that are underwater now.
Oh, underwater. Okay, so they flooded too.
And Proctor over here is as well.
So this is all underwater.
Yes.
Do people scuba dive under there just to see some of this stuff?
And a lot of places in the lake, they're not allowed.
Oh, they're not allowed. Okay. Did people die when this all flooded out, or?
That one we don't think anybody died, so they were given
that's good.
plenty of time to get out, to move. A lot of them were actually given land compensation or money even for the land. Smokemont is in Cherokee.
Oh, in Cherokee. Okay.
Yes. So that one's not a lumber company anymore, but that one is still standing. Well, where it was is. And so is the Weedier one up there at top as well. That one is in the little town of Weedier, which is about 15 minutes, 20 minutes down the road.
Okay. Well, that's nice. You got some history that survived. Oh, this is still.
Yes, a big part of our history was moonshiners, moonshine stills, all of that. And one funny thing that you'll see is behind the still is a jailbreak in Bryson City. And that was a fun story. They broke out of the jail. They tied cloth together and went out the window. And they were moonshiners.
You know, walking the AT, I see a lot of these back roads that aren't used anymore, and I always wonder if there's a still or something back there.
There could be, but most of the old timers, knowing where the stills were, took them apart, hid them, or took them with them.
Okay, that's cool. Okay, and we got some antiques over here.
Yes. Most of the stuff was used. There was jack of all trades here, and of course the log grabbers, because logging was so big. A lot of horses and cattle were used to pull the logs, just farm work, stuff like that.
What's the purpose of the bells used on horses?
I can't answer that question. I still have not figured
I mean,
out
I see people on the AT with dogs. They put little bells on them to hopefully scare the bears away. But I'm not sure what the purpose of having the bells on a horse.
With the horses, we sometimes think it was so they knew where the horses were. So if they were logging and the horses were right down the trail, they knew where they were.
Okay, and this is some of the stuff that they would use for the logging.
Yes.
Well, that chainsaw's a little bit more modern than the old two-hand saw, right?
Yeah, but
Two-person hand saw.
a lot better.
Yeah, probably what it did. Couple old axes.
And I'll ask you a trivia question right here.
Uh-oh, okay.
What is a peeling spud?
A peeling spud. You peel potatoes?
That's what everybody thinks. We have a scavenger hunt downstairs that has a question on it. Find the peeling spud. It stumps everybody because that's what they think.
It's in this cabinet?
Yes. It was to
Oh,
take
right there.
bark off of logs.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because supposedly if you take the bark off, the logs wouldn't rot as fast, correct? Mm-hmm. Okay. That's pretty cool. Peeling spud. Oh, saw blade there. So this looks like a barber chair. I think I could use one of those. I might have to see if you have one in town.
So we have the stuff, we can do it here, you know. No, so this was the historic barber chair. Actually, La Dolce Vita in town is where this barber shop used to be. And of course, the building's been redone, it had to be redone. But if you zoom in on the picture here, and old photo, a little bit blurry, but one of these under it says dentist, and the other one says barber.
Oh, so they had the dentist and the barber together. Well, you know, they always seem to be paired together, don't they?
Sometimes, yeah. Have your teeth pulled and get shaved or a haircut.
Yeah. Here's the tools. I can use a razor right now. I might have to visit a barber. The beard thing is starting to get itchy. Old lamp. Okay. Oh, look at the old telephones. Switchboard.
Absolutely gorgeous.
It is gorgeous. And that probably went with that right there, I'm thinking.
I do believe, yes, I do believe.
Okay, and that's sort of the more modern.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got the, what's that, old crank phone?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we do have a picture, and we have to put it up somewhere. We're kind of rearranging as we go too, of one of the original power company, I think it was called, and it had all the power lines coming out of the building.
Okay.
Because that's how they used to do it. All the power lines were into one building.
Reminds me of the old house in the prairie, Mrs. Olson, you running a switchboard, listening. Remember, you're probably not old enough to know the old party lines, right? Where you had to pick up the phone and listen and make sure before you could start using the phone.
I've always heard about them, but never experienced it.
Okay. Oh, look at that, a spinning platoon. Hey, some tobacco. Chewing tobacco.
And some businesses allowed it, some didn't.
Oh, okay.
And of course, we've got the signs back there that's saying, you know, spitting on the floor walls is prohibited.
You would think common sense, but you never, you know, that's what they used to do back then.
Mm-hmm. 100th year anniversary back in 1871.
Okay.
So because this courthouse was built in 1908, they got to dress up like they were from 1908.
So this is a modern, but dress as old-fashioned.
Uh-huh.
That is cool. Where'd they find the dresses to do all that?
I'm not exactly sure. No, I've been curious numerous times on that.
Because they do look authentic, don't they?
Mm-hmm. In all honesty, we had a lot of seamstresses in town, so some they probably got together and made them.
Some guy on a horse and buggy, or a horse and wagon. Look at that old house back then. What's the significance of the flower decoration on that?
We have been trying to figure it out. So there's actually a couple businesses that have that as a pattern, either on their walls or on their roof.
Yeah, that's usually where I see them, is over on the corners and on the corners of the roofs. Yeah.
And we're trying to figure out which business it came from. So when this museum first got built, a lot of the stuff was donated, and they had a hard time keeping track of everything. Because there was just like, you know, here, take it, I don't want it back. So now trying to go back and track all that down and find all that paperwork, it's interesting.
Okay. Then we got an old bank vault door. Is there any history to that? Let me back up.
So I believe that it was from the building next door, which used to be Bryson City's first bank, which is now the Everett Hotel and Bistro. I believe it was from there.
Okay.
And they got the old bank book up there as well.
Oh, yeah. Nice. Oh, a corn shucker.
And it actually turns too.
It turns.
Yes.
All right, let me see if I can do this and hold the phone. So you put the corn in there and you get the cobs, and then you can probably grind that up, make some flour.
Uh-huh. Either grind it up or just taking the kernels off.
Okay. Cool.
And of course we got the corn shuck doll, which was all the times made for the kids to play with and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, a little doll. Yeah, you wouldn't have to buy a doll. You can make your own.
Exactly, and that's what they did a lot of times back then.
Well, yeah, you know, money was probably really tight back then.
Oh, yeah. So this was the CCC camps. This little drawing wood right here was their symbolism for Deep Creek, Indian Creek, where they were stationed, where one of the mini camps was at. It was a civilian conservation corps, which they helped out with a lot of the park, national forest, stuff like that, and of course one of the trunks that was used with them. And that photo is one of the entire camp. That was everybody that was at that one camp.
That's a lot of people.
It is, isn't it? And one thing I have learned through looking through a lot of records and stuff like that is not all of them were American. There was a lot of Irish and Native Americans, people like that too, that came in as well. And over here is our fire department. So if you look right there, that was a paymaster. It was in the 1960s, and it was used to make checks for the employees in the city and the county.
What's that little stamping device?
That is how they did accident reports.
No way. Accident reports?
And so if you actually look in it, you can see like the cars, the two cars against each other.
Yeah.
Or you can see, what's another one? Just a single car. It was the accident reports.
Well, that's too cool.
Now everything's done online, but...
Yeah, there's our old beater. Look at that stick. What's this missile-looking thing? This is from World War what? World War One. Okay.
So that is actually a flare body.
Oh, okay. So they shoot it up, it explode, and light up the sky. Okay, especially at nighttime.
And these were all of our paper articles and stuff like that, saying about the World War and when it was finally over. And I even have a ration book right here as well.
I took some pictures of your statue out there with the people that lived around here and gave their...
Very nice.
Yeah.
At the end, you'll actually see our memorial wall, which we have a lot more to add to. And this, of course, was all the jars they used, the eye wash kit. Scale is right back there in the wooden box. And then, of course, the snake bite kits. Everybody had one of those.
Yep. Yeah, I haven't seen any yet, but I hear there's copperheads and rattlesnakes. I hear there's a lot of black snakes, but they won't hurt you. So.
And some cottonmouths as well.
Oh, cottonmouths. Oh, great. I already got scared by a root snake, so.
Root snake.
I was walking around, wasn't really paying attention, and all of a sudden I saw something look like a snake, and I must have, man, it really startled me because I probably jumped 2 feet in the air.
Well, hey, at least you had the reflexes to jump away, though.
Yeah.
So this is our old cabin. It is from the Wright family. I cannot remember the time that it was in, but it was brought in piece by piece and rebuilt.
So this is original?
Yes.
Other than it moved from its original location?
Yes. So they
Look at the old
brought in
shingles
windows.
on there. Now those wouldn't be cedar, would they? Because we're not in a cedar. What do you know what type of wood they would use for shingling? That wouldn't rot?
I'm actually not sure. I know wormy wood was used a lot to make bowls and plates, stuff like that.
Okay. Can you imagine having this out in the woods someplace? Just, oh man, what a relaxation cabin. This would be perfect.
It would definitely be peaceful.
It would be peaceful. This is just awesome.
And then when you walk through that room right there, it's kind of portrayed as the kitchen area. It has the peppers and stuff hanging. Of course, they hung their overalls when they come in the door or their jackets. And of course, especially around here, the Bible was always in it.
Yeah, that's one thing I noticed on the Appalachian Trail. Religion is very strong.
Oh, yeah. Of course, the old wash beds, where you could wash your face at, wash your hands.
Yeah, I wouldn't imagine that they were the cleanest back then. Not today where we're spoiled, right?
Right.
Where we get a shower at least once or twice a day.
Yeah, and a lot of times back then, they kind of shared the water, shared the baths, so
Yeah,
yeah,
that
they
is
weren't
true.
the cleanest. And this room is portrayed kind of as like a living room, kids' room, and of course, they definitely did not have this many toys usually. And a lot of the wooden toys were handmade. A lot of the dolls, their dresses, their clothing, stuff like that was handmade as well.
Oh, I bet. Just like the corncob dolls.
Mm-hmm.
You used the material that you had. You probably the wife usually had, or the woman usually have leftover scraps from sewing, and she
Mm-hmm.
probably sewed some things together for the kids.
And seed sacks as well.
Nice.
And of course, the old postcards.
So this looks like the train that takes you for the tour, like the 4-hour tour through the woods.
So they've
I really
actually
want to do
been-
this during the fall.
You definitely should. It's absolutely gorgeous during the fall. All the leaves are changing color. The Nantahala Gorge ride that they have, you get to follow the river down as well. So you get the leaf changed, the color on the leaves changing, plus the look of the lake and the river. And these parts are actually from the 722, which they are in the process of rebuilding right now.
Oh, okay. So that would I would imagine it would probably look something like this.
Mm-hmm. When they get finished with it, it probably will. Yes.
It probably will. Okay. What is
Now,
that thing?
These are butterfly doors, and this is about 3 tons of steel.
So is that for the boiler?
Yes. So you open the doors, which if you want to, they actually open still.
Okay, I won't open them, but yeah.
But yes, there was actually a lever down on the bottom, and you push that lever, the doors would open. They'd shovel in the coal, and then
The coal. So they at this time they're using coal, not wood.
Yes.
Or okay.
and it took 4 men to get that up there, plus hand trucks.
Just that piece of iron right there. I
Yes.
believe it. Yeah. Oh, look at the little baby shoes.
Yes. And most of the shoes were also all handmade.
Yeah, they look leather. So
Mhm.
they probably take some like deer skin or something like that and
Yeah.
made their own like moccasins or shoes.
And of course, this case is kind of our miscellaneous cooking stuff and stuff.
Okay.
And also fishing was big in the area as well.
I would imagine all the creeks that run through the woods here, all the trout that runs through there. That's just awesome.
And we are actually the fly fishing capital of Bryson City, so it kind of fits within it. And then our mining equipment.
And the mining was copper,
Yes. Copper and mica too.
mica. That's an old mining hat.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of this over here was cooking. Of course, the ladies at home, everything was from scratch.
Okay. See, they can make a better spoon. I try to make spoons when I'm out in the woods, just sort of relaxing and see if I can make. Mine never turn out as nice. Mine usually end up going in the fire when they're done. So, but yeah, look at that. Graters, some old bowls, some muffin tins.
And of course, the picnic baskets up top as well.
Oh yeah, my wife would love those.
But yeah, everything was made from scratch.
What's that coconut looking thing or the?
I've not figured that out.
Is that a mold? Maybe they molded something that
That's
would.
what we're thinking. It's either some kind of cake pan, a mold of some sort, something.
Okay.
And also big in this area was, not only from the passed down generational recipes and food, it was also canning.
Oh yeah, nobody knows how to can anymore.
No.
Canning
It was
has gone
easy
away.
working, and a lot of these were
Oh, ladle.
put in here when this museum first came to be in 2013. So.
It's that old. That stuff's in it. Well,
Or
it
older.
still looks good though.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah, it doesn't look bad.
Especially the green beans. Looks like
I mean, yeah, you can almost pop open eating them, but look at the lid on that.
And of course, our butter churn.
Butter churn. Yeah, I've seen those before. There's Mama making butter. Oh, that is so cool.
And of course, over here.
Uh-oh, we're moving into the modern technology now. Look at the old cameras, old movie projector.
And of course, some very, very modern cameras in here. But
yeah, I see the one over in the over on the left there. That's a look at that. It's pretty modern there. And you got some old watches.
old watches, jewelry, stuff like that. Jaw harps are the two circular. They put it in their jaw and they tapped on it and made music.
Oh, okay. You know what? That seems to be an Appalachia icon or what I imagine that they would do. Mm-hmm. So.
And then the coins in there. One is the Thaddeus Bryson Dillard coin, and the other one is the Bushnell 50 cents.
Okay. Now, I would imagine back in the time, if you had a pocket watch, it would probably mean that you had some wealth.
I would say, yeah, usually.
So, and what is this funny looking thing?
That is actually a seal from drill press from Carolina Wood Turning Company, which Carolina Wood Turning was a big company around here. They made everything that had to do with wood. They made furniture, cabinets. They even made dishes, bowls and plates.
The old-fashioned CNC machine.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that. Okay. Water wheel there.
So Cherokee Furniture Company, which I don't believe it was the Cherokee Indians, but I think that was the name of it, coming a lot from Cherokee. And this was one of the pieces of furniture they made, along with the pictures of more of them.
Bedboard.
And of course the blacksmith tools. We had not a lot, but a couple blacksmiths in the area. And then up above this, we have the Bushnell and the Forney. It was different buildings and structures that were in those places.
Seed planter.
Yes, a lot of farming was in the area. So definitely a lot of seed planters, the horses for the plows.
You can see what kind of attire the farmer wore back then.
Oh, yeah.
His hat, shirt, long pants. It looks like boots or some sort, leather boots.
Usually boots.
And we thought life was hard today. Ha! So, oh, what is this? This is an old shawl or something? Homemade blanket. That's a blanket.
Yep, it's crocheted.
Okay. And there's an old dress.
Yes. And there was a lot of seamstresses in town. They made their own. They crocheted. There was women's quilting clubs where they got together and they made quilts, which were absolutely gorgeous and kept you warm in the winter.
Oh, that is gorgeous. I have a mother-in-law who has actually made me a very nice quilt. Ooh. And this is her hobby, and this is what she does. And this one right here is just freaking awesome. I'm sure she's going to see this. And what's that above it?
It's an apron, bonnet, and pot holders. So the pot holders are, of course, handmade. So is the apron, the bonnet.
Okay. And this is what they made it on? The type of sewing machine?
This was the industrial ones.
This was an industrial one, okay.
So a lot of the quilts, like you can see in the picture when the women are standing there, a lot of that stuff was hand sewn.
Hand sewn. Yeah, I believe it. I learned that from my mother-in-law that she could pick up on something that was hand sewn or Really managed. She does a really nice job. And here are some actual quilts. Are these authentic old-time quilts?
Yes.
Oh yeah, look at the pattern on these.
And the one, yep, it was this one. It's made from scraps of children's clothes.
Yeah, and that's what I would suspect that after the women made their dresses and stuff, they would have scraps. And so what they would do is they would take those scraps and they make beautiful stuff like this. Look at that. Look at the work that had to go into that one.
Oh, yeah, hours and
I would say days and days and days. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Quilting clubs, when they got together, they
So
work on
you get like 3 or 4 women, 5 women get
Yeah.
together. Well, that's how they communicated with each other, right? The men would go do their thing, and they would go and do their thing, right? To get away from the guys.
Yeah, or have the kids in school be like, okay, I need a break.
Yeah, perfect. Oh, there's some more. Oh, that one's up so high.
And then we have another sewing machine along with the irons here.
So this would this be what year would you think that this was?
1930, I think.
1930s.
I think. Quilting
That's
club.
just the quilting club right there, and there's more than 5 or 6.
There's a lot more, yes.
Yeah. So.
And of course the hand sewn as well.
Oh, look at that! They're making their beds or the cushion for their beds. That's just freaking awesome. So it was definitely a community, right? A community got together and they were helping each other. And,
Oh yeah.
and so what's this guy?
So this is another seed
Another
plant.
cedar, right?
This one is actually from Kirkland's Branch, which is in the national park. And they used to put the seeds in, haul it along the ground. It's got the plow on the front to make little divots, or it would hook up to either the horses or the bulls, and they would pull it for them as long as they're behind it guiding.
And what's that huge basket?
That was actually to put either the tobacco or corn in.
Oh,
Mostly
tobacco
for
leaves.
tobacco. Yes.
Okay.
And they
So
use
was that a huge crop around here then? Is tobacco leaves? Okay. Yep, there it is. Look at that. So in between the gaps, they could do a little bit of farming. Anything to bring in some revenue.
Oh yeah, and a lot of the farmers rely on those tobacco sales. Families on their farms, or in about 1930s is those ones. And this one over here, you see a lot more of the farming equipment.
This is like a chicken house or a
Chicken coop.
chicken coop. Oh, grinding stone.
Mm-hmm.
Some more axes, machete looking thing.
Now, I've got another one for you. Another
Oh
trivia
no,
question.
I didn't do so good on the first one. Okay.
Can you find the crow repellent?
The what?
Crow repellent.
Crow repellent?
Yeah.
You mean like the bird crow repellent, like a scarecrow?
Yeah.
And it's in this case right here?
Yes, it is.
Well, what would? Are you talking an axe to cut the head off if you catch it, or what? Oh, okay.
Although they sometimes did hang the crows up to scare off the other ones.
Okay.
So it
No,
wasn't a
I don't see it right offhand. Point it out.
It wasn't a scarecrow. It wasn't something like that. It was scent. So it came in a bottle.
Oh, a scent. So.
And and it was used to kind of drip around stuff like that, and it would scare off the crows.
Okay. Nice.
So this is Miss Wilma Ash. She has a significance to Swain County, Bryson City. When people got displaced from Fontana Lake, well, where the lake is now, she would keep their items at no charge. She would just keep their items in storage, and she would inventory everything. So she knew what all was there. And when she passed, that was actually where a lot of this stuff came from. And she had said one day she wanted her house to be a museum because of the amount of items that she had in it and how much culture and difference she had.
So the majority of the stuff in this museum
A lot of it.
was given to her to hold for storage, and they never came back to get it. So she wanted to then put it all on display, and that's why it's all really here. Wow, isn't that a neat story? That's an awesome story. I don't know what this thing is. It's not a guitar. It's not it's got to be something Appalachia.
Honestly, forget what it is.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look that one up and see if I can find out what it is.
So this is the window from the Judson Post Office, and above it you can see more pictures from the Judson Post Office, and this has so much significance because it is one of the town's communities that is actually under the lake.
Oh, it's all under the lake.
Mm-hmm. And these suits and medical supplies are from Dr. Bennett and Dr. Mitchell, which were two very known doctors around Bryson City and Swain County. And they were good at what they did. They were definitely good at what they did.
So they weren't quacks
No.
trying to sell you some kind of a moonshine potion that cure all things.
No, they actually knew what they were talking about.
Okay.
And if they didn't know an answer to the question, they'd hit the books.
Good for them.
Now, this wall is full of pictures from a lot of just the early times. It had miners from the creeks. It had CCC camps, the Ryder Lumber Company, fire department. Just a little bit of mix of everything.
Look at the old fire truck. Is that something? Is that the whole crew? That had to be the whole fire crew then, right?
Yeah.
So one guy's over there pumping the water, the other guy's are holding the hose, and the other guy's driving to get there?
Pretty much. And all hanging on.
All hanging on, yeah. There isn't much to hang on, that's for sure. Look how they dressed back then. Oh, look at that. Oh, log cabin right there. Train.
So Neighbors has shut down since then, but up here, it was Neighbors Drive-In. It was the most popular spot in town and had to move locations because that location that they're at right there got a little bit too close to the river.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah,
And
they're right on the edge of it.
And they were so popular they did not have enough parking. And the second spot they moved at, they had to recently close down because the parking lot was getting pretty bad and cracking and all of that.
Huh.
So this room, we still have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of donations still to put up on these walls. We just got to figure out the best and safest way to put them up so they do not get damaged. But this is our memorial room. And this is as you're exiting the museum. And the class of '65 actually put all of this together to honor the veterans that were in their class. And as you can see, there was quite a bit actually.
So Roy Cooper is governor.
Mm-hmm.
All for our freedom.
Mm-hmm. And some of the stuff that we're going to put in this room is Purple Hearts and stuff like that that the community, many people from the community have earned. So this is all Civil War uniforms, just older uniforms. And they're all made out of wool, of course.
Yeah, you notice that? Wool actually will keep you warm in the winter, but it will keep you warm wet. And a lot of people don't know, but wool actually will keep you cool in the summer as well.
Mm-hmm.
I wear wool socks year round just for that reasoning.
And that's why they made uniforms out of it.
So that's a Confederate
Mm-hmm.
uniform right there. Is that World War I or World War II or?
I'm not sure on that one.
Okay.
But I do know at the bottom, we actually
Oh,
have letters, old guns, and of course books and papers.
cap and ball revolver. It looks like a Remington.
It is, I have to wait to get this case open for some of our county maintenance boys because
Okay.
it's too heavy for me, so I can't change that out just yet.
Okay. Look at all the old letters. Now, what are these old letters? Are there any significance to these letters?
So those were the letters wrote home from World War II.
Okay.
Those are letters from soldiers going home.
You know, that's how we communicated back then, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it isn't texting.
And...
Yeah. And
With
they
inches.
used to write so neatly and nice back then too.
Oh my gosh.
So is that, what is that, a little pocket 22 or something?
I do believe so, yes.
There's big old slugs back
And
there.
of course they carry the straight razors with them, the watches, compasses.
That's where they melted their lead?
Either melted lead or cooked in. I think that one's to melt lead though.
Yeah, I would think because that little device that's inside there is a lead ball maker. So the old canteen, World War, that had to be World War Vietnam period.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a Navy? That looks more like a Navy one right there, right, the black? Yeah, right there.
Yep.
Yeah, that's got to be a Navy.
Yes, U.S. Navy.
Bob, you would know that. You're Navy.
So, of course, the shoe stretchers, along with making their own shoes, because as I mentioned before, they didn't always have the money to buy them. Sometimes they would stretch out the shoes and make them bigger for the next kids.
One thing I noticed about other shoes that I have others saying, the feet always seem to be so skinny.
Weirdly enough, yes, weirdly enough.
Are these candlesticks?
No.
They're not.
Those were pig scrapers, so
What?
we actually have a lot of wild pigs.
Oh, right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard about that. You guys have a hog issues, and I guess they get pretty mean. They're worse than bears, I was told.
They are a lot of the times, yes, and they don't forget sometimes. So you've got to be waiting for a while. But they used to, make bacon, lard, meatballs, stuff like that. Everything that came from a pig. So this was the equipment used. And we've got, of course, a jar of lard.
Oh no, that's a lard in the back. Okay.
And we used to have a jar of meatballs, but it had to be thrown away. It
Okay.
became really nasty looking.
Pretty rancid looking, yeah. Well, that is cool. All right. Well, thank you. So I just finished a wonderful tour with Selena. Thank you so much, Selena, for sharing the history of Bryson. So thank you so much. Once again, resupplying at the local IGA store. Again, I don't know where anything's at, so I'm just have to keep going up in every aisle and try to figure out what I need. So should be pretty easy. Once I get back to the hotel motel, I'll lay everything on the bed, take a pic. So I just got back from the IGA resupplying in Bryson City. I have approximately 32 miles to get to Fontana Dam. So I figure that's a 4-day supply for me. And again, I will break all this down just to save bulk. But again, just to briefly go over through, I got some, I don't know, breakfast bars or whatever, just to, once I pack everything down and get back on the trail, I usually will eat a Cliff Bar or some kind of a breakfast bar. So, again, lunches, I just got these little packages. These things work good. You put them on these flour tortillas and you have a wrap. And as you can see over here, I got a real red pepper again. I just love these things. They got a little crunch. They're nice and fresh. I eat them just plain. I just put a little salt on them. They go really good. They go really good with spaghetti. In fact, you can put them in your spaghetti or even put them on your wraps. It's just... makes it taste really good. I only got one dehydrated or freeze-dried food, and that is spaghetti. I will break that down into two meals, and right now I think just by itself it's probably only an 8. But as I was saying before, if you add these pepperonis to it, it makes that 8 into a 10. So, awesome meal. I don't mind even eating that twice a week. It's that good. So, that I've been carrying around a long time. I got to eat it. I still have the berry cobbler. I will guarantee you that will be gone before my next resupply. Uh, I just can't carry it. It's heavy, and I know it tastes good. I just got to eat it. Jerky's just good. I just stop every once in a while and just have a jerky stick or a piece of jerky or whatever. Overloaded on the candy, and I know that. But I guarantee you, all my chores are now done, with the exception I got to flush out my filter, and rinse out my bottles. But other than that, everything is done. And again, Snicker bars go a long way. Payday, Skittles. I'm already going to be tearing into the Hershey bar tonight, and the Bit of Honeys, and probably a pack of Skittles. So, probably a few things of that would be gone before I even get to the trail. Suppers again. We talked about the spaghetti, dehydrated or freeze dried. I get about another package of smoky bacon, cheesy potatoes, and then I still have a half a bag of real bacon left. I'll probably go ahead and put that in there. Um, all right, just a couple snacks. If I'm still hungry afterwards, just some peanut butter crackers, a kind bar. Again, ramen. I only carry the ramen because if I run out of food, it's just a emergency resource. I hate ramen, to be honest with you. So, electrolytes, I'm getting low on electrolytes, so I bought another box of electrolytes. So, anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and package all this down. I'll show you what it looks like after it's all done. So I'm having a wonderful time in Bryson City. Had a very good stay. I got one more night and then relaxed in. Very hiker friendly. In fact, all you have to do is you take your laundry to the main office and they do all your laundry for you. They wash it and dry it. So then you just got to pick it up. So like that a lot. Had a chance to tour the town. Somebody had recommended that I try out the Italian place. I can't remember the name of it right now, but I know where it's at. So I believe I took a picture of it earlier today when I was touring the town. So speaking of touring, I had Selena give me a wonderful tour of the museum. Thank you very much. And I ate breakfast at I think it's Everett Street Diner, and I got to meet the owner there too as well. His name is Mike Shaker. So I'll put all pics of both of these people in there, but highly recommend this town. Everything's in walking distance, and everybody's just super friendly, especially towards the hikers. So. But anyways, I'm gonna have dinner. I'll let you know. I heard it was sort of iconic place. It's really neat looking inside. So if I can get away with it, I'll try to video a little bit of it, and we'll talk to you later. So I like to close day 23, 18 miles. But I guarantee you, I walk just as many miles in town as I do, I already have on trail. It is a neat town. Um, it started that I got picked up from the knock. I got into the knock late yesterday, and I got picked up by Patricia, who drove me to Relax Inn. That's the place that she really recommended. and I got to say it's very 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 hiker friendly. I took a pic of the room. You can see it's clean. It's got a couple beds. It's got the refrigerator, microwave. They do your laundry. Okay, you just take your laundry to them. They wash it and they dry it. So you don't got to stick around and do laundry. They do it for you. So that's just wonderful for hikers. So, but anyways, had a wonderful night. I got up in the morning and had breakfast at Everett Street Diner. Scrambled eggs, bacon, hash browns, the works. Just tasted awesome, and had got a chance to talk to the owner, Mike. So cool. Ask Mike, just how did Bryson City come about? So I told him that wouldn't mind seeing the museum. They didn't open until 10, so. But anyways, he wanted me to make sure that at least asked about this road that goes nowhere. So this town's sort of unique, right? I mean, the Fontana Lake is covering half the town, so I didn't know that. So, anyways, excellent breakfast there. I do recommend it. Very satisfying. I later had a tour at the museum with Selena, I thought she did very good, by the way, and very thankful. Thank you, Selena. There was another lady there, and I didn't catch her name. I'm sorry. But I think her husband is half Cherokee. So we got in a conversation where, yeah, I was learning history at Blood Mountain where the Cherokee and the Creek had a major war there. And what I was told is each tribe actually lost three-quarters of their male population at that time. So it was a major deal. And she was saying that, and this is not to insult any tribe or anything, and this video is not meant for that. But she was saying that the Creek were just a very tough tribe. And what I mean by that is they were pretty much, they go out and look for a fight, okay? They're warriors. And that's just the way they were. So she was saying that after the Cherokee were beat there, some still stayed there, but I think the majority, or I think she said that they moved to Oklahoma. So that was pretty interesting. And so the Indians that did stay there, and eventually, as you know, Blairsville got developed because the U.S. gave free land permits or whatever, granted grabs, and they started businesses there, such as mills and such, and so they needed workers, and so what had happened is the Indians started working at the mills and to earn a living. And she said that as a result of actually the Indians actually lost a lot of their heritage because she said they used to make wonderful meals, wild quail with berry juice sauce, and she was making me hungry as she was telling me. But anyways, I thought that was very interesting. And again, thank you, Selena, for giving me the tour of the museum. I'm sure everybody is gonna love it. So, and then I was told to have dinner at an Italian place, Pascalino's, and I did take a few pictures there. It is absolutely unique inside. You actually get to watch the chefs make your meal, so you know it's all fresh. And and I took pictures of the meal, so you already seen it in the video, but those scallops were 50-cent piece sizes, and I had probably seven or eight of them. The shrimps, well, you saw the shrimps, right? And there's real crab in there, and so I got a chance to talk to the owner and the head chef, and I just thanked them so much for a good meal. I really appreciate that. When you're living on the trail and you get into town and you have these really super good meals, it's just you just crave those things. Okay, My wife is a very good cook. I miss her cooking, and this is the closest that I can come to it. And this Italian restaurant was just top notch. They started with the bread and the olive oil and the balsamic vinegar and the olive dipping to a nice tossed salad, which was just nice and crisp and you crave that stuff. And then obviously you saw the seafood dish, so very nice. So again, I'm going to close. I'm going to get picked up by Patricia. Well, Priscilla. I can't remember right now. It's something like that. In the morning, I'm scheduled to get picked up at 9, so I'll probably get to the knock by 9:30 or so. I didn't do a lot of filming of the knock because it was late, so I actually have to walk right through there. So I'm going to be filming probably the first part of the morning of the knock, and then unfortunately, I got to go up. I have a 7 mile climb. It normally takes a hiker to get up to the top all day, or it takes all day for the hiker to get up there, and then there's a bunch of tent sites up there. I might have to find, there's no way I'm going to make it in probably one day. So I'm going to probably have to find some little place stashed away someplace part way up. But 7 mile climb, wow. I needed that pasta. So anyways, looking forward for day 24. And certainly I'm going to take you all along. So, good night.